All right. I think we'll kick off here. Good afternoon. I am Mike Amoroso, and I serve as a client success manager at Your Stake. We're going to discuss our Advisor Core solution today, but before we launch into how that works, Robin and I wanted to set some context and describe where Advisor Core would fit within your practice. With that, I would like to also remind everyone that we are recording this Zoom and will provide you access to the recording following our presentation. The slide in front of you depicts a typical workflow from when a prospective client makes contact with your firm to when they decide to move forward as a client within your practice. This is by no means an all-encompassing list, and we recognize that some of the steps in your workflow might be slightly different in a different order or might be specific to your firm. For the most part, though, this diagram depicts a lot of the major muscle movements your practice will take in onboarding new clients. I have divided this chart into halves. The second half, or the last two nodes on the right, is largely in the client's hands, as they consider the information you ultimately present to them. The first three nodes, those on the left, can be a lengthy process when we consider the back and forth that goes on with setting up an initial meeting, the time it takes to review and prepare for an initial discovery meeting, and so forth. During this time, the prospective clients are engaged in a whole host of activities. They're considering other advisors, they're talking to friends and family about how they are invested, and possibly distracted with other life events that consumed their initial motivations for reaching out. For this presentation, we're going to focus on that which you can control, which is in the first three nodes. Our theory is if we shorten the time it takes to move a client to the decision point, we can help you grow your practice faster. To achieve this, we offer two solutions: our traditional values-based investing tool and our newly launched Advisor Core. These two platforms are modular in that they either complement each other or can be deployed independently. With Values Hub, we enable you to drive deeper relationships and understand your client's intrinsic motivation. Advisor Core aims to increase your practice's bandwidth, empowering you or your staff to do more. Coupling the two, we are confident that you can prepare a prospect to move to that decision in less than a week, if not days. We do not propose that Your Stake's tools will remove steps within your established onboarding process. On the contrary, Advisor Core was specifically designed in such a way that it could be easily integrated into a typical workflow. For example, you will still want to meet with prospective clients to look them in the eye and instill within them a sense of confidence in the services that you offer. With that, we feel strongly that your efficiency in being able to meet with them, understand their needs, and formulate a plan to get there is a determining factor in their decision-making process. We aim to enable small and independent advisors with the tools that larger peers look to deploy in the near future now. Posting the behavioral questionnaire to your website will enable you to identify their values and facilitate deeper conversations about what they are looking to accomplish within their investments. Completion of the questionnaire will provide you with a notification prompting you as the advisor to go into Your Stake, review the results, and provide you with their email to coordinate next steps. Within your response email, you could request investment statements to better understand their current financial situation. Once you have those statements, you would then want to load them into Advisor Core, apply the prospect's value set from the questionnaire results, and apply one of your existing benchmarks for comparison before running the analysis. As an output from this analysis that takes less than 2 minutes, you will be able to provide the prospective client with a side-by-side comparison of how they are currently invested versus how they could be invested, compare both their values, and couple all of this with the financial analysis that they would want to see before making a decision. Now that we've established some context and our rationale for creating an Advisor Core, I'll now be followed by Robin, who will take you through our demo. If you are interested in moving forward, you can scan the QR code that you see now on your screen for an Advisor Core subscription. Robin?
Excellent. Thanks for that, Mike. Appreciate it, providing that context around how or the goal of our portfolio analysis tool. I think it's also worth just, saying a quick note about why we built it, along with saving you time to grow your practice faster. We heard from a lot of you that are on this call today that we do the values alignment analysis really, really well. can we help with doing an overall analysis? So that's really when we started kind of brainstorming how we could do that. And I'm going to take you through today what we have developed so far. And then at the end, we are happy to take questions. If something comes to mind, you're welcome to put that question in the chat. We'll be watching that to answer those. And then we'll be hearing from Gabe, our president and one of the co-founders, about some really exciting capabilities that we'll be adding to this application in the very near future. So with that, let me go ahead and share my screen. And quick technology check. Can you all see my screen here? Great, thank you. As some of you know, when you are showing a presentation, it's inevitable that something will pop up. So I've learned to always ask that question before I get too far. So kind of going with how Mike sort of set the stage in a typical workflow. So you're working with a prospect, they've given you their statement. Now what? Instead of that time-consuming manual entry of looking at their statement PDF and hide typing in all of those holdings, the corresponding values, just so you can really see what you're starting with, we've shortened that time with our tool. So you'll be able to upload, I'm taking a statement. And while this is sort of processing now, I'll just show you what that statement looks like. Something that you've all seen, TD Ameritrade, rest in peace. But this
Robin,
is
just your browser is displayed right now.
There we go. Thank you, Mike. 1 second. So used to sharing just my browser. There we go. Should see the TDA statement here. No? All good. So TD Ameritrade statement. We see the holdings, the values, that sort of thing. So instead of hand typing these all in, we're utilizing our tool to extract all of the holdings data. And just for today's purpose, I'm going to compare this with the S&P 500. We can just assume that I don't know a whole lot about this statement just yet. I'm grabbing it and simply uploading it so I can have the application tell me what's going on. If you wanted to create a benchmark, you certainly could this way. You can choose maybe one of your model portfolios that you've created on the site or have uploaded through this tool as the comparison as well. Switching over here to these optional fields, risk tolerance. In the live site, we have where we can choose, talking with this person through organic conversation. Maybe I'm just going to select moderate to see where this account lies sort of on a risk spectrum. Now, we do have a risk tolerance questionnaire that we are going to be coming out with very soon. And just to kind of give you a preview of what we're working on here, we hope to have this out in early November, which is not very far from now. So this is one of the new capabilities that we're really excited about. And I am happy to let Gabe talk a little bit more about this and everything that went behind coming up with this, with the risk tolerance questionnaire towards the end. So Gabe, I don't want to steal your thunder, but I do just want to give a preview of what this looked like. And this is really born from our clients saying it'd be great if you could have that risk tolerance built right into the application. Okay, so moving forward, the number one or the easiest thing sort of that we get is a downloadable file. So I uploaded the PDF. Now I can get what I like to call workable file, a CSV file that I can then upload if I need to in another program, maybe my CRM or my trading rebalancing platform. And what that looks like here, the Zoom faces around, right here. So we turned that PDF real quickly into this Excel file. I know it's kind of hard to see here on Zoom, but you've got, all of the securities. Had this statement included cost basis, that would certainly show up on here. Also, any fees associated with holdings in the account or in the portfolio and what account it came from. So had this, several accounts on it. I'm sure that you all have worked with statements that are consolidated. These would be broken out as well. And so the analysis, real quickly has completed. So let's take a look. This is just sort of a preview of each of the sections. I like to go through each of the tabs. So the holdings, what we saw on that Excel file, are all right here. Risk. So we're looking at, if you noticed, this account or this statement had some stocks in there, some fixed income, also had mutual funds, ETFs. So we're looking at all of the underlying holdings to determine what's that risk look like. And what I've uploaded is quite conservative from that large cash position. So this might be a great opportunity to ask the prospect, is there a reason that you have such a high cash balance? Did you recently sell something? Because it looks like, you're more of a moderate risk tolerance level. And values alignment, had I chosen a value to align with, whether that's Planet Protector, Women Empowerer, one of the Sustainable Development Goals, or simply a custom value set that I have created, maybe it's a firm level value or it's specific to the client, you could certainly load that in and see what this looks like, as well as launch into our deeper report analysis of that values alignment. Equity sector breakdown, kind of your basic stuff here. Again, we're looking at the underlying holdings, and what's really nice on here is I've got pretty high concentration, or much higher than the comparison in industrials. Where's that coming from? You can just click on that graph, on that bar itself, to get a sense of what all of, what's contributing to the industrials. So we've got some individual companies, again, from my Dodge and Cox fund, it looks like 11% of that is allocated to industrials. Asset class breakdown, just looking at, those various asset classes. I do want to point out over here to the left, we pulled out just some high level, information as it in regards to the account or portfolio that we've uploaded compared to a benchmark, a model portfolio, whatever it may be. So we just have some sort of statements over here of what we're seeing or the analysis is pulling out. Trailing returns, methodology is listed under here. Volatility, 1, 3, 5, and 10-year, and fees from fund expenses. I think this is a really interesting one, especially, if you've got a prospect who is on the fence or who is, asking some questions about an advisory fee or what's it going to cost them to let you manage their account when they're coming from maybe trying to manage it themselves and they don't see that management fee. Well, it's not technically it's not free, right? They've still got, if they've got funds, they've still got some underlying expenses in there. So this graph is really nice to be able to show those differences. the market cap breakdown, and then I'll export the presentation here in just a moment. I did want to circle back to where I think most of you are going to notice the AI enhancement, and that's in our chat function. So we kind of think of this along the lines of, this is you, the advisor, asking the application, which you could, maybe call an additional or an assistant paraplanner, if you will. So on this one, here, so you can ask it some various questions, and it's going to answer. This has been really fun to for us internally to ask all sorts of questions. It's also been really fun to see what our users are asking. And that gives us some really helpful insights into what can we maybe add to the roadmap looking ahead. So as we're getting more information here, it's typing this out and gives you a simple conclusion at the end, but also kind of these bullet points here, talking about the sector allocation, individual holdings, expense ratios. And then on the fees, maybe I just want to say what holdings are the most expensive. No, it's tiny print, but I asked what holdings have the highest fees in the portfolio. Populating answers here. Again, little conclusion, but just calling out some of the big, what is driving those the expenses in the portfolio. So now I'm going to come over here and export this presentation. So if you noticed, we have these include in presentation. So if there are certain sections that you don't want to include in the presentation, you could certainly click it off. I'll just leave that one on so we can see what it looks like. And then generate the presentation. Come down here. And simple PowerPoint presentation, fully editable, customizable. If maybe you don't like some of these headlines, you could certainly take those out. Maybe it's as simple as grabbing this graph, copying it and dumping it into maybe a template that you're already using. I guess the main thing is it's quite flexible, so you can use this as you need it. And then of course you can save this to put in the client file with what you've presented them. Good way to say, I looked at the fees in the account, discuss that with the client as well. So with that, I think you can see how very quickly you can take a PDF statement and turn it into analysis, workable Excel file that can be used elsewhere without manual entry, and also an overall presentation that can be used as needed.
So actually, it's been really fun. A number of you on this call have followed along and uploaded statements on the YourStig system while we've been doing this, and many of them were successful. Some of them, and I'll just explain, like, set your expectations, what works. Right now, the YourStig system has been designed for statements that contain ticker symbols. There are oftentimes retirement statements in particular that just have, for example, the name of a retirement fund without a ticker symbol. And right now, the YourStig system is not trained to be able to do that, but that is one of our top 3, probably top 2 roadmap items that we're going to be adding is what we're calling Magic Ticker Fill, where our system will be able to take those fund names and be able to find the best match ticker symbol or fund for the name that's listed on the statement. So right now, just to set expectations, if you upload a statement without any ticker symbols, don't expect it to work. But
Mhm.
very soon we will have this AI ability to be able to find the best match ticker symbol. We also have oftentimes been running those in the background for some people. If you have an urgent statement and really need help, we are still working on that feature, but can kind of run the early versions of it to see if we can help, just because we want to make sure you can get things out there for your clients. The other thing that I wanted to share, uh, a couple people on this call, even over the last few minutes, have uploaded screenshots of web pages and sometimes non-brokerage statements. Again, the screenshots from web pages will actually sometimes work, but the system has really been trained on that brokerage statement format. So if you want the highest likelihood of success, then and it doesn't have to be actually even like a PDF that you download from a website. We've had a lot of success with scanned documents or pictures of documents even as well. But the brokerage statement format is what our system has been trained on so far. Now, that doesn't mean that it won't get it if it's a screenshot, because it still has that. I mean, that's where the intelligence comes in and the artificial intelligence, but a lower success rate if it's not that full brokerage statement. The next and that's also on the roadmap, is allowing it to be fully general purpose anytime there's holdings anywhere, being able to take that information in. The next thing that I wanted to share is actually just an update on our statement upload success rate. So it is always improving. Our system is learning. That's another one of the benefits of the AI system. Over the last trailing 10 days, we've had an 85% success rate. And it is our effort to try to get a turnaround for any failing statement within 24 hours. We've been able to do that with a 95% clip, and a little bit later for others. So if you upload something, it's almost certainly going to work the first time, but if it doesn't, we'll be able to get that turned around for you, and make sure that happens as quick as we can. The last things I wanted to share is just, as we mentioned at the beginning of the call, the multiple statement upload is the next feature that we're about to release that will come out towards the end of this week, early next, and the ability to run multiple portfolios at a time. And then the last thing that's on the roadmap that's really exciting is the ability to, we kind of previewed it, auto match to the best fit portfolio, or even through our partnership with First Affirmative and the Vetus direct indexing solution, be able to not just match, but create a best fit portfolio for you based off of the risk preferences, values preferences, and existing statement. So those are all the things that are coming down the roadmap. And we try to be extremely transparent about the roadmap. We actually send out a weekly update email every Monday, sharing, here's what we did last week, here's what we're working on now. Please send us feedback if you want us to bump anything up the priority list. And we do love hearing from you, and setting our future priorities based on your feedback.
All right. I think with that, appreciate everyone joining today. We did record, or we are recording the session. Let us know if you need it. We're happy to share that with you. And we'll give you a little bit of time back in your day. So thanks for joining. Jack, if you have a moment, maybe for the last minute or two, we could put the QR code up. If you do not have access already to the portfolio analysis tool, we'll flash the QR code here, or reach out to myself or Mike, and we're happy to send you that link to get signed up. Let's give folks a moment if they're grabbing any screenshots. Okay, I think we can maybe wrap it here. Thanks, everyone. Appreciate your time. Let Mike or myself know if you have any questions or need the link to sign up. Share with your friends. We love adding people to the platform and letting them give this for a spin as well.